I remember when the freeway, that lovely freeway we have in Birmingham, took my grandmother's very nice neighborhood and home. They had no choice in the matter. It was a decision, and they were forced out. It was the family home, the family gathering spot, and the freeway was going to take the entire neighborhood, which was a prominent neighborhood, very stable neighborhood. I do remember there was no choice. There was dismay. They had to relocate completely out of the area and lost their neighbors. And they were paid a very low amount for the house, which had a big backyard with lots of figs and trees and pecan trees and just lots of room. That move was very shattering for the family and for the web of relationships that were quite close and substantial for many years.
They killed some neighborhoods with this, and it caught us off guard. Typically, people would come by the house and bring their drawings and explain to my grandmother, who was in her 70s, what the plans were for the I-20, I-65 interchange right there. And the only thing they were playing with and dancing around that may have saved my grandmother's house was the Jewish cemetery, was a block away, 2 blocks away. And they were having trouble doing that without disturbing those graves. And we thought for a minute that neighborhood escaped it because of the cemetery, but nothing doing. They went over the cemetery, but these homes were well-established, historic homes, professional black people, doctors, lawyers. Dr. Nixon lived up the hill there from us. He was a dentist. And up Lawn Avenue, which was a big hill, you had educators. Now, when you use the word upper middle class in the black community back then, you're talking about educators, because that was about the best you could do in terms of moving up the ladder in terms of education. Typically, people would go to Alabama State, A&M, or Tuskegee, or Miles College, come back home, teach at the school where they went. So well-established homes, well-kept homes. People would modernize their homes as they saved money, and it was devastating for the state to come in and take these homes away. And because we were black folks and couldn't fight back, what happens in situations like that now is the neighbors find out, they pool together, they go to City Hall or they go to the county commissioner's court and they complain, and they bring lawyers in and bring in surveyors and they bring in engineers and fight to keep their neighborhood intact. But black folks didn't have a voice.
You know, I used to always, every time I came to Birmingham, I used to wonder why the freeway curved at the intersection. And when I was in college and driving from Atlanta home, it was just not, it never felt safe, the curving of it. And I did a little digging and research only to find out that the Alabama Department of Transportation curved and, you know, through what they considered slum clearance. And in terms of urban development, if that was really the case, that would make a lot of sense. They spent a lot more money on, you know, the shortest distance between 2 places is a straight line. If the freeway from Atlanta to Tuscaloosa was straight, instead of curving for slum clearance, where my grandfather's beautiful house and, you know, other instructors and teachers and, you know, people who could afford nice homes. It was a very nice community. And they eliminated it, and they all had to move away. And it just never made sense to me that, first of all, they would call it a slum. Secondly, that they would not encourage families to stay together and thrive.
I later learned, years later, that they dissected the Smithfield community to make way for the interstate, and that it was done deliberately to cause some disarray in a well-established black neighborhood.
You know, the freeway issue, you know, every time I come here and look at that, I just, you know, it just really annoys and aggravates me that in addition to the high cost that taxpayers have had to pay, that they destroyed and disrupted so many families with wrong intentions, in my opinion.